Hello, this is the video for beginning web design for Tuesday, September 15th. Hello,
Hello.
Hello.
how are you guys doing today?
Good. Good.
All right, cool. Bernadette, I think I'm just going to make a new website for you every week.
Huh?
I think I'm just going to make a new website for you every week.
Well, I was working on the one that you just sent me.
Okay, yeah, I was just kidding.
Fine.
Because I had to make it so many times, but
Yeah, sorry about that. I got kind of,
uh, you froze. She froze completely. It was like it's like a science fiction movie where like somebody gets hit with a freeze ray or something. Mm. I assume her internet just blipped or something like that. Um, okay, well, maybe she'll come back at some point. So anyway, have you other guys had a chance to work on your website a little bit?
yeah, but
Okay, yeah. Stephanie, you sent me a screenshot of yours. And Alex, have you worked on your site at all?
Not that much.
Okay. Um, well, let me first, while Bernadette's probably logging back in, let me go ahead and put you guys into the attendance for today, and then we'll get started. Okay, attendance. Okay, web design. The empty records present. Let's Let's see. Last Thursday wasn't a holiday, so okay. All right, and so here is Bernadette coming back in. Bernadette, you got hit with a freeze ray.
yeah, I don't know why the internet just went blank, but it's fine right now.
So what were you saying?
Um, like when I tried going into my original website that I made, it didn't even say that it existed, or I don't really get it.
Okay.
Didn't exist, but the one you gave me is working fine.
The one that I just sent you the email about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let me go to the class website. Mm, okay, so Alex, I have you down for a presentation. Did you put one together?
Yeah,
Okay, would you like to share your screen and do the presentation?
sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see. Um, okay. Can you guys see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot where it is. Right here. Is there? Here? Hold on.
were you looking for play slideshow or something?
Yeah.
So on like the right hand corner, you could see like present. You know where it
Oh
says
yeah.
share and stuff? Yeah.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my presentation's about building a website for a client. So I just did this recently, and so I thought it'd be a good thing to talk about, like my process. Um, so yeah, so here's kind of a general outline of working with somebody. So like you contact or you get contacted by somebody. You kind of assess their needs and you develop it. So here's an example email that I did recently with a client, and this is kind of what they contacted me with. They said, "Hi, it's blank. I think blank talked to you. I'm coming out with swimwear and I need a website. I'll be doing a shoot at the beginning of August so I can have the pictures. Just wanted to know your pricing." And then here we go. So these are some questions that you can review with them. And this is the email that I had sent back. I said, "Thanks for reaching out. Let me get a few details about it." So I asked them if they had any logos, colors, fonts, um, what kind of pages they needed, and if they needed anything else apart from the items that they were selling on the website. So then you can ask them about their budget too. Maybe if you need a contract. With this one, I didn't use a contract just because it wasn't anything really that big, but you might want to like protect yourself with other clients that you don't really know. Um, so here's some of the steps that I do when I'm working on a website. I do a mood board, kind of get similar styles and websites and pictures that I want to like do similarly. Then I work on the identity, so their logos, the color palette, the style, and then the actual development of the site. So this is some software that I use. So for mood boarding, I use Figma and Photoshop. Figma is basically like a Google Drive. It's like an online Photoshop, Adobe XD, Illustrator type of software that you can like put together color palettes or mood boards or wireframes. I use Figma and Illustrator for the identity as well. And then for the actual development, it depends if they're doing like a portfolio site or e-commerce site or a business type site. So you could look into HTML coding with CSS or CSS, or you could look into Shopify, which is primarily used for e-commerce, which I really like, or WordPress is also a really good option. So after you've worked on the site, uh, you want to keep your client updated with progression of it, just to make sure that that's what they're looking for, or maybe they want to make changes, but also don't let them have too many revisions. It really depends on like what they're paying, and never undervalue your services. That's it.
All right. Woo. Nice job.
Thank you.
It's really good. Yeah, you have a lot of really good points in there. I'm interested to see what this Figma looks like. Do you have it that you could show it in operation on your desktop there?
Yeah, it works through the browser, or you could get the desktop app, but the browser is super nice because what do you call it? Uh, it's like online, and you can share the link with like your clients so they can see what you're mood boarding and if they want to add stuff to it. Let me just pull it up real quick. Um, okay. Okay, is my screen back up?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was another website that I was working on for somebody. Um, okay, so basically I have three different pages. I have the mood board right here, which is like logos and other websites that I was kind of drawing inspiration from. And then I have a brand page, so the logo that I was working on and like the colors. And then I have the actual site, like wireframe, like layout right here. And yeah, so it has a lot of tools like Illustrator. You could do like text and vectors, and you can even import too from directly from Illustrator. But it's just nice to have it online because it's kind of like a cloud.
It looks like a carbon copy of XD.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, that's cool. That it's online though,
yeah,
and it's free, I assume.
yeah, it's free.
And so you store all your stuff in Google Drive, or do you store it in Figma itself?
You can do both. I usually do Google Drive, and then I have copies saved to my desktop as well.
Mm, okay. Wow, that's really cool. So yeah, I'll have to download that software and check it out. I mean, I think XD is incredibly useful for doing mockups and the type of thing that you're doing, and Figma just takes it one step closer to the client, which is, putting it online. Nice thing about that is you can work on it from anywhere, like in a cafe or even when you're on vacation. And of course, your client can go in and make notes or add
Hmm.
stuff. So that makes it kind of interactive, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, One thing that I noticed about your process, one thing that you might consider, you talked about, not needing a contract. Maybe you know the person who's hiring you or something like that. One thing you might consider is instead of a contract, you could do something called an agreement. And what an agreement is it's like one page, and you just, you list both parties, and you put a paragraph there that says, what you plan to do and how much it's going to cost and how long it's going to take, and then you both sign it. And at the top it says agreement to do website project or something like that. Now, what's cool about that is an agreement is actually a contract, right? If it's written down and it has those elements in it, it's actually legally a contract. But because it's not called a contract, it seems it seems like a little bit less of a big deal for a client. They're just signing an agreement, that you're going to move forward with this project. What's nice about it is that it does protect you if anything goes off the rails, you know. I remember I had a client. I got in the habit of doing contracts for all my work when I was doing web design, and I had a client who turned out to be the ultimate nightmare client. And thank God I had a contract, because she would have, like, she wanted to sue me every 12 seconds, for the shirt I was wearing or whatever. So, without that contract, I would have been really screwed. But anyway, something to consider.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have right now. It's more, I haven't really gave anybody a contract or came at them saying like, um, let's have a contract or something, you know? But I do have one, and it's kind of written in more, I don't know, casual terms.
Yeah. Well,
And I think that's better as well.
yeah. I mean, you can do whatever you think is appropriate. And as you go, you might change it for different clients, like you said.
Mhm.
And you also talked about revisions and stuff. Uh, I got to the point, I did a lot of web design. I got to the point where I just spelled everything out very specifically. I said, I would say the client will be able to, we'll discuss what they want. I'll present them with a mock-up. They'll be able to make changes, suggestions to changes. I will make those changes, and then I'll ask for their approval before we move on to the next step. And and I would even write in there, additional revisions past the first one will incur an extra charge or something. I
Mhm.
built in all these little bulwarks against client abuse.
Yeah.
So anyway, it sounds like you're doing a good job, and you got that all figured out. So that's good. Um, okay, cool. So let me go to the class website here. Okay. So, do you guys have any? I know that you've done a little work, Stephanie, and you did some work, Bernadette, as well. So maybe we could look at some of the work that you guys did.
My stuff is kind of like just not observation, but exploration. That's the word. So
Okay.
it's not like really fancy. It's just kind of like trying to figure out how to do it.
All right. Let me see if I can go to your site. So you're at like Pima CC Web / what, Bernadette?
Um,
Dot.
I
Let me see if that's it. I think that's it.
You also emailed me the link.
Yeah. Uh, okay. let me find my link, my email that I sent you. So let's see. This is not it. Okay. So I'm going to do sent, and I'm going to look at Bernadette. And then the email that I sent you is this one. And here's the, oh, it's B2. B2.
Oh,
I just got tired of writing a full name out.
yeah.
Um, maybe if your name was like Bree,
Yeah.
BRI, or something like that. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I don't know what this stupid thing is. I'm going to close it.
The pictures of the default, I changed the theme.
Okay, which is fine. It's no problem. So I'm just going to refresh this so you guys can see what the how it starts. So you see there's a little animation there where the text from the top comes down, and the text on the bottom goes up. Um, and I mean, this is cool. Now, is this your work or is this just the template?
Yeah, it's the template. I tried to figure out how to change it. That's why I'm not really sure how to change it.
Okay.
Um,
So let's see. Let's see if we log into your site here. Let's see, WP-admin and okay. Okay, I just gotta. Okay, so okay, so we're in your site now. So let's look at your theme. So your theme is called Somalite, right? Um, Now, one of the hardest things about WordPress is figuring out where to go to make changes, or if you even can make changes, right? And the thing that's a little confusing about that is it can be different on every single web theme. You know, every theme has different options and abilities, which is why I like using systems like Astra because, you know, once you figure out how Astra works, you can use any of their starter templates and you can figure out where things are. But let's talk about the different options you have here. So first of all, you've got this button called Customize, which is here, but there's also a Customize button over here. And the Customize button is going to take you into some very specific ways to customize your website. Um, so for example, the Customize definitely has things like site identity over here. And this is where you can upload, you know, the name of your website and everything. And you can also upload a site icon, which will be what appears. It's like a favicon. It appears inside the tab at the top of your website. So like if I click select site icon, I'd have to go to my computer and pick something, right? Now, do you guys know what I'm talking about? These little icons that are at the top of your tabs?
Mm-hmm.
See those, right? Okay. So so you can make those let's see. Okay, let's see. I want to find one that actually allows you to make it. Let's see. If you already got have an image you want to use for. Okay, let's see. What was I want to find one that actually shows you how to lets you make it. Generator. Okay. Let's see. Search keyword browse the icon gallery. So, browse the icon gallery, huh? Oh, okay. So, for example, I don't know if I have anything on my. Okay, here's one. So, I'm going to grab this little picture of a round red circle, and I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to click Create Favicon, and okay, there it is, right? And then it says download the generated favicon. And so let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. So I can download this favicon. And then here it is. It's a zip file. I can zip that. And then inside there, look at this. It made favicons for like all of these different formats for Apple, for apps on computers, for Android. It probably made them for websites and all kinds of things, right? So um, now the next step would be you could take this code that comes along with it, and you could drop this code into your website along with the favicon to have it show up. Now that's generally if you're hand coding your website, you can use this code. But if you're using something like WordPress, you can just upload the favicon that you basically just downloaded. So let's see. Now I think it said something about how big it was. Right here it says 512 by 512, but let me see what it says. A site icon 512 by 512. Okay, that's kind of big. I don't even have any 512 by 512s, do I? Okay, well I'll just pick one. I'll pick the biggest one I have. 310 by 310 maybe. I'll take this one. It's called MS Icon. Put it on my desktop, and then I'll click select site icon, upload files. Go to my desktop. Let's see. MS. Okay. Open. It's going to be pixelated because it's too small. And I'll hit select. And then crop image. And then boom. Okay. So do you see this little round thing right here? That's my little favicon, right? This little red round thing. And this shows it. I imagine there's some maybe some devices you can look at that it's going to show this big one, but this little one is the one. You can even see it appearing right here at the top of the website. That's called a favicon, and that website that I just showed you, which is called favicon.ico, an app icon generator. It's at favicongenerator.org. Will simply allow you to upload an image, and then it will download the favicon for you. Now, I've used all kinds of these before, and all I did was search for favicon maker and go pick the top two links and found the second one worked for me, right? But there's other ones, like here's one, favicon ICO generator. I think it's the same. Oh yeah, this is a different one, and this one will it'll let you can even actually create a favicon from scratch here, because what happens is favicons are pixel based. So you could draw something if you wanted to, and you could see what it looks like in pixels, or it can convert your artwork to pixels, and then it will make it the favicon. So if you have a website that has a logo, you can try and take that logo or part of that logo into one of these favicon generators and then generate the favicon for your website. Now, I'm going to remove this one from Bernadette's site because she doesn't want this little Martian red dot on hers. But that's what that is. So, but there's a bunch of other settings here in customize. There's your fonts here, the color settings for your website. There's the header settings and so on and so forth. So customize is where you're going to be able to do a lot of different things. Now, when you're done playing around in this section, you click this little X. And it takes you back to WordPress proper. Now, in addition to customization for any particular theme, you can also potentially make more edits if you have something like Elementor in place. But when you use Elementor, you have to use it with a website that supports Elementor. With a theme that supports Elementor, right? So for example, if I go to your site here and I go into plugins and I go add new and I add Elementor in, the odds are it may not work with this existing theme unless the theme was created with Elementor in mind, right? Okay, so you get the little Elementor tutorial there, right? But now let's go to some of the pages of this site. And yeah, see, if if these pages worked with Elementor, instead of just edit, it would say edit with Elementor or something like that, right? Now watch this. If I create a brand new page after I've added Elementor, so like add new, um, you can, in this case, you can choose edit with Elementor, and it will actually allow you to make a page in Elementor, and then this page will be editable by Elementor. So even if you have a theme, a website theme that wasn't created with Elementor, you can add Elementor in, and you can make new pages with it. But you can't edit the pages that were not made with Elementor with Elementor. Um, Now let's see. There's something else I want to do here for your site, which is I want to make sure you have the classic editor. Um, okay, let me go under plugins installed. Yeah, I don't see it. So, okay, I'm gonna go add new, and I'm gonna do classic editor. So what this is a couple of versions ago, WordPress switched the way that they allow you to edit web pages, and they created this thing called a block editor. And when you go into the pages, like here missions or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I kind of figured that out because I've tried to something like the block editor, like to add stuff in, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so what happens is, let me show you. If I deactivate the classic editor and we go back into that mission page, um, I hate their new block editor. This is what it looks like, and I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I can change this. I can click here and add a new block. Some people probably somewhere in the universe love this editor, but I think it's garbage. So what? So somebody came up with a plugin which allows you to go backwards to basically knock WordPress back to the classic editor, which I much prefer. And so now if we go back to the missions page, now everything looks really easy. There's the title. Here's where you put your content. Over here is where you hit your update button. Here's where you can edit the page with Elementor, and so on and so forth, right? Now, this is interesting because this the missions page I didn't make, but it's showing, like I didn't make it with Elementor, but it's showing edit with Elementor, which is pretty cool. And it's probably just because, um, all it has is this text that says, these are our missions. And if you wanted to, you could add a lot more to this. Let's see if we can add an image in here and just grab something. Sorry to mess up your site here.
It's fine. If just basic exploration, I haven't done any wireframes or really worked with it that much.
Okay, so it did work, and I'm a huge fan of Elementor, and so my recommendation to you, if you like Elementor too, is to basically build every page in Elementor and just stick with Elementor because I think it's a great way to make websites, right? But you can't do both. In other words, this page that I edited with Elementor, or that I made with Elementor, I always have to edit it with Elementor. I can't edit it in the WordPress editor because it will mess things up. So in other words, if I go back to this missions page and I go back to WordPress editor, they even give you a note right here. It says, hey man, you know, if you started this page with Elementor, finish it with Elementor and only work on an Elementor, because if you try using the WordPress interface with it, it's going to jack some things up, right? Um, so you can make that decision, Bernadette, if you prefer WordPress or a page building plugin like Elementor.
So I have a question. So how would I put my logo in? Because I know it's vectored, it's a vectorized image right now, and you said to convert it to a PNG, but whenever I go on to like Illustrator and try to like save it as or download it as a different file other than like a PDF or anything. I can't find it. Am I
Okay.
supposed to publish it or?
Yeah, no, I'll show you where it is. So in Adobe Illustrator, like let's say this was our logo right here, this word circus. Um, okay, so I'll make this real small so that it's kind of like a website logo, and I'll adjust the page size here. Just make it really small. The artboard, I guess it's called. Okay. So what you do, Bernadette, once you have your, vector image or whatever, what you do is file export. Okay. And then you have a couple of different options here. You can export for screens, which is, I think that's most often used for applications like iPhone apps and stuff like that. You can export as, and this will give you the choice to export as high resolution for print or low resolution for web. And then you can do save for web legacy, right? I would probably recommend export as. And then what you do is you choose use artboard. And so it'll grab that whole, everything on the artboard. You put it on your desktop and then you say, we'll just call it logo.png and we'll hit export, right? Now here is where it gives you the option to export it with high res or low res. You're gonna do it low res for the screen, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got your logo. So now, in order to upload that, what you do is you go under Appearance and Customize, and over here they'll have an area called Site Identity. You click on that, and this is where you can upload your logo, right here where it says logo.
Oh.
So you click Select Logo, Upload Files. What the hell did I call that? Did I call it Circus?
Logo PNG.
Well, I called it Logo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's this one right here, but I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, there it is. So then you hit select. Now they ask you if you want to crop the image. You can move this little crop box around. I don't really care to do that. And then there it is. There's my new logo, right?
Oh.
And of course, if you're using Elementor, you can do things like click on these little pencils, and it will take you to the interface where you can make changes to that. Do you want me to leave that in there so you can find it and easily replace it?
Yeah, sure. And too, because this video is recorded, it helps to go back and look at it again.
Okay. Uh, and then, of course, when you're done with your changes, you have to hit publish, and then it becomes, then it gets written to the database, which makes it real on the internet. Up until that point where you hit publish, you're just kind of twerking around with it and testing it out. And it doesn't actually exist on the website until you publish it, right? Now, one thing to remember is when you're in the customization mode, you're in sort of a special limbo of WordPress. You're not in the WordPress interface. You're in this sort of editing interface. And to go back to actual WordPress, you got to click this arrow here, and then you got to click this X. And then that takes you out of the customization editing mode and back into the back end of WordPress. The same is true when you click Edit with Elementor. It takes you into this sort of limbo editing mode, and to get back to WordPress, you have to click on this drop-down menu and then click Exit to Dashboard. So both Customize and WordPress take you into, an editing mode that's removed from the actual WordPress editor, and then you have to come back to WordPress if you want to, use any of these buttons or anything.
Now, a quick question. You said before that when we use Elementor to edit, we cannot go back to WordPress to edit.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking.
I thought you mentioned before when we set up a page with Elementor,
Yeah.
that we cannot subsequently edit it with WordPress.
Well, yes.
But isn't that customized what we just did? Is that not part of WordPress too?
Well, so what has been told to me and what I see every time I go from Elementor back to WordPress is they'll give you a message that says, "Do not edit the same page in both Elementor and WordPress because it will screw things up." So in other words, if you're an Elementor person, then you're 100% Elementor. If you're a WordPress person, just do 100% WordPress. Now I at this point am 100% Elementor because I think it's superior with all the choices that it gives you of how to set up pages. So yeah, I'll double down on what I told you before, which is if you start using Elementor on pages, don't go back and use this WordPress editor right here to edit the pages.
Oh, I see. But so what we just did with the icon, that was outside of the WordPress editor.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
Okay.
yeah, both the customize, yeah, right. When you go,
Custom, that's okay.
yeah, okay. All right, so let me see. Let me look at the rest of your site here, Bernadette, see what else is going on. So we have the circus up there.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, your, here's the, let's see, I think I put this picture in or something like that.
Yeah, I put it in.
Oh, you,
It's
okay.
not matchy at all.
Okay, right. Now, notice obviously one of the things that's very strange about this site is this giant red thing that's happening,
Yeah.
right? Now, one thing is, you probably want to edit that, but, the question is, where the hell do you go to edit that thing, right? Well, it might be easy to find, it might be hard to find. It's questionable. You can notice that the customize link is also up here in this navigation bar at the top when you're logged in. So we can click on customize, and I would imagine it's in here something like header styles. So it says default header style. This will show the default header. Okay. Okay, let's see, top header settings. I'm not seeing, I would, just like you, I would have to go in here. Here it is, under color settings, okay? It says select headings color right here. So you can click on this, and then you can go ahead and you can put in a specific color,
Yeah.
which of course won't work. Did you try this?
No, I haven't.
Let's see. You can put in a specific color, or you can even type in a hexadecimal number that you get from something like Photoshop. Let
Yeah.
me try putting in just I'm just going to try putting in a random color and then hit publish. And it's interesting that apparently that is not this, that's not changing what I had hoped it would change, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so we can take that back to the red or whatever it was. Now we can try the other ones. Let's see, select hover link, call to action. Okay, so, once again, it's not here. And this is what I mean about WordPress, about having to shop around and find things, right? So let's see, menus, preloader, shop settings, font settings, page settings, sticky header, header styles. Yeah, so, okay, so this is a great example, actually, because you guys will run into this stuff all the time. So, we're here on this site, maybe we like the way it looks, maybe it's got some cool features, but there's stuff like this that we just have no idea, how to fix it, right? Now, there's a couple options for you. One is to see if this theme has any sort of support out there on the internet, right? So, what we can do is we can go back to the actual name of the theme. So we'll go under appearance and themes, and it's called Somolite, right? So what you can do is you can say support Somolite WordPress theme, right? Okay, so here's Somolite WordPress theme. Here's support for theme Somolite. Somolite spherical themes. Okay, let me see more videos. We are making video tutorials for Soma. Oh, Soma is not Somolite. Okay, let's go here. Somolite WordPress theme. Okay, so when you go to this, you know, it shows you the ratings, and then it says support, view support forum. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of support for this. In fact, you can see it's been 2 years since anybody posted anything about it, right?
Hmm.
Now that's not great. It doesn't mean you can't use a theme, but it does mean that you're not going to get any help on the internet from this theme, right?
Yeah.
Now there are, you know, you could search around and find a theme that's more current that has better support. But there are ways that you can make changes to this theme, uh, you know, this area that we just looked at. So let me show you. Let's say that we're in this kind of scenario where we find something we want to change, and we looked around and we have no idea how to change it. Okay, so let me show you what I would do in a case like that. I would go to one of the pages, and then what we're going to do is we're going to target this background color in the header. We're going to try and find what the CSS style is that's creating that. CSS, of course, is short for cascading style sheet. And somewhere deep in the code is a cascading style that is telling that the header background there to be red. And if we can find that style, we can change it to whatever color we want. Now let me show you a little trick. I happen to be in Firefox right now, but this trick will work in Chrome and it will work in all the major browsers, right? What it is if you open up the options for the browser, which I'm going to do by clicking on this menu here, there's going to be something called like Web Developer or Web Tools. You click on that, and then you go to this button called Toggle Tools. Now watch what happens. It opens up a panel down here which gives you like all the HTML and CSS code for your website, right? And in a second I'll do this in Google so you can see, in Chrome, so you can see how it works there, right? Now what you do in this screen is you click on this little icon that looks like a little page icon with an arrow over it, and you run your arrow over the screen, and as you run it over the screen, it highlights different sections of the page, right? When you go over the section of the page that you want to investigate, you click once, and it highlights that code, right? So right here is the HTML for that code, and look, it says right here, style background equals blah, 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 right? And it's this style right here with this color, right? Now what you can do is, let me see if there's somewhere else that it's located. No, just there. Okay. So what you can do is, let's see, it just says background. I'm trying to find, normally what will happen is you can see the CSS for this. It says it's an inline style, which sucks. Okay, normally you can figure this stuff out pretty easily. So it says page title style equals background, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's for the page dash title. Okay, page dash title. All right, let's see if there's anything in here that says page dash title. No, there isn't. Okay, so in other words, there's a style called page dash title, and the background color is that red color, right? Now what I can do, and I might have to try this a couple times, but I can go into customize, and down at the bottom of customize, they always have something called additional CSS. And I can type in a little piece of code that will hopefully change this. So let's see, page title, and now I don't know if that's a I don't know what kind of style that is, so I'm just going to try a guess here. And I'm typing in a specific amount of code, and I'm just going to say background black. And let's see, now the fact that it didn't change makes me feel like I got it wrong. Let's see, so let's say hashtag page title. There we go. Okay. So, okay, now let me go ahead and let me blow this up so you can see this code a little better, and let me explain what I did. So what happened was I used that web developer tool to locate exactly the style that was coloring this background, right? And it was called page dash title. Now, when it comes to styles, cascading styles, there's generally two different marks that you can put in front of the style. One is a dot, which represents a class. I'll write that down here. So a dot equals a class, which is a type of style, right? And then a pound sign equals an ID, which is another type of style. And then now that I think about it, it actually said ID page style. And if I had remembered that, I would have started out with the pound sign, right? So, but I started out with the dot and you saw that didn't work. But the second that I put the pound sign in there, which means ID, and then the name of the style, page dot title, then I could put in these curly braces and I could take the particular style I wanted to change and change it to whatever color I want, right? Now, in addition, to make sure it worked, I put this word here, which is important, with an exclamation point in front of it. And what that does is it tells it that if this style exists, I want you to overwrite it because my style is more important. Now, you can make this anything you want. If you don't want a color back there, you can just change it to white. Of course, now we can't see the text because the text is probably white. So you could call it gray, or there's all kinds of different CSS colors you could put in there. You can put it in a number. You could go into Photoshop and select just the kind of gray that you want, and grab this number right here, which is called the hexadecimal number, and then you go back and instead of gray, you put in let's see. Oops, somehow I got that. Let's see. Okay, you put in the number and then you put a pound sign in front of it, which means it's a color, and now we have like that light gray, right? So now I know that this kind of coding is sort of beyond people who are just starting HTML, because we haven't had a chance to talk about this. I actually have it in my notes to talk about CSS styles today, right? But now that this is here, you can hit publish, and whenever you want to come in and change this, all you have to do is go into customize, and then go down to the bottom where it says additional CSS and make whatever changes you want right here. And you could change that background color to whatever you want, right? Okay, so that was just kind of an exploration of how to do something that's not very obvious, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have other questions about this site, like things that you wanted to do but couldn't quite do yet?
I was thinking, well, because like font choices, it's probably in the customize section. So I could probably figure that out. Or like, um,
In the font section, they only have the one default font.
uh-huh.
If you want to have a bunch of fonts available to you, you have to add a plugin like a Google Fonts plugin.
Oh, okay.
So if I go to plugins here and I go add new, now there's a couple of different Google Fonts plugins. There's one that's really easy and one that's just hard. I always seem to get the hard one. Let's see which one I get. Let's see. I don't really recognize any of these. Which one is the most popular? Oh, auto optimize. Well, I don't want that.
Have to put them in if you don't want to. I was just
No.
curious.
I do want to. I want to show you this because it's really helpful. Okay, so I typed in this thing, easy Google Fonts. I have the feeling this is the hard one that I don't want to do, but I'm going to try it anyway. So easy Google Fonts has 300,000 active users and 4.5 stars. It was only updated a year ago, but that's okay. If it works, it works. There's not much more to it than just making the font work, right? Now let me try install now.
Do you have to,
What's that?
um, sorry, do you have to pay for like the licensing of the font? Like this whole realm of like the copyright and licensing is kind of confusing for
Okay,
me.
Okay, it's a great question. So what happens is there's a website out there. If you type in fonts.google.com, this is Google Fonts and it's free to use. Okay? All these fonts are free to use on your website. Okay? So, but what you need to get them to work with WordPress is you need a WordPress Google Fonts plugin, right? Now, let's go through the process of using that plugin I just installed. So, so there's this thing called Easy Google Fonts, which I just installed. If I come here to the plugins page and I click on settings, it says create a new font control, or manage font controls. Well, either way, it's going to force me to enter a control name here. So I'm just going to call this headlines or something like that. I don't know. Create font control. This is the one that's hard. I really don't like this one. Add CSS selectors, force style overrides. Yeah, this one is not, it's not easy, so I don't like this one. Enter Google Fonts API key. It's such a pain in the ass. And save Google API. What happens after your theme will update itself with the latest Google Fonts automatically? Okay. All right. Let's try this Google Font API key thing. So we go to Google Fonts, and I guess we have to log in or something like that. Let's see. Google Fonts. How do I get my API thing? So let's see. How to. Well, actually, you know what? I really don't like this. I told you guys that I always seem to pick the bad plugin for Google Fonts, and I did. I don't like this one, so I'm going to deactivate it. There's an easy one, and it's not called easy, unfortunately. So let me try and find the one that's super easy to use. Okay, font plugin, Google Fonts Library. Okay, let's try this one. The easiest way to use Google Fonts. Okay, let's try this one. Install now. Activate. Quick Start Guide. Okay, to help you get the most out of Google Fonts, we put together a free Quick Start Guide. Well, that's cool. Oh, it's a PDF that you can read. Well, I don't really want your PDF. What I want is customize fonts. Okay, so let's see. Basic settings. Default font family. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. It just worked like a charm. Basically, by installing that cool plugin, now you have access to all the Google fonts in your library right here. So now you can say that you want your base typography here. Let's just make some changes so you can see stuff. So I'll just put in something that's really obvious. Let's see. Well, I don't know any of these fonts. So here, Alex Brush. Okay. Do you see how this little sub menu here changed to a brush stroke?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can, for headings typography, I'm just going to mess up your site with all kinds of weird. Okay, that you can't really tell. How about bad script? Okay, just so that it changes, right? And then here's buttons and input typography. You can change that to a different font too. So now if we hit publish, and we go to your site, and let me go back down to a normal size here. See how all your fonts are just kind of jacked up to different fonts, right? But it's really easy to change them. And what's cool is, if you want to go over to Google Fonts, you can search for the fonts you want to use, right? Like,
Yeah.
You can search by, it's cool because you can search by different things. So like, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. They've changed this. You used to be able to search by, oh yeah, here we go. Under categories, you can say, okay, I just want like display fonts or something like that. and then it will just bring up the display fonts. You can also say font properties here. You can say if you want fonts that are thick or thin, right? Fonts that have a slant to them, right? There's Lobster. I like that font a lot, and so on and so forth. So in other words, when you do your search, you can specifically dial in certain kind of fonts that you're looking for. Now, if I change this back to everything, and I'm having a hard time changing it. Okay, there's everything again. And then if I, okay, all right. So anyway, now you can search. So let's say that you wanted to know if Georgia was in here. So you type Georgia, and sure enough, Georgia's in there, and that's the font you want to use. So now you can go back here. You go customize. You go Google Fonts. Um, and then you just change this to Georgia because you know it's in there because it's in Google Fonts. Uh, except when it's not. Oh, what a pain in the butt. Oh, here it is. It's up at the very top. Okay. And then that becomes, one of the fonts used for the site, right? Um, okay. So I like messing up your site, Bernadette. I'm
And it looks pretty bad anyway.
quite enjoying myself. Okay. Um, okay, so we got the fonts. What else? What other things are you thinking about?
To like, can I just, because I kind of already tried working on like their brand identity, and I don't know like if Google Fonts will have that font on there specifically, like for like their welcome page or whatever. Can I just kind of make the picture in Photoshop and put like their wording and all that cool stuff, and then just kind of put it on here?
Absolutely. Like, that page that has the picture on it?
Yeah.
Like you could just take that picture into Photoshop and put your own graphic font on there and do whatever you want. And then you could have that be the picture that shows up, you know, like here if you want. You know what I mean?
Because I'm okay with like the default paragraph setting, like the paragraph font, like the one that they already had on there. But so I'll probably just do that for like the display fonts, just go on to Photoshop and kind of uh, do all that, do all the
Hey,
graphics on there.
I think their font, it started with an L. It was like Lano or Lono or something. I made a note of what it was so I could change it back. Um, let's see. It was just a couple of letters that started with an L. Uh, well, of course, one way to figure out what it is just to turn off the Google Font plugin, and everything will revert back to whatever it was. So if we go to plugins, install plugins, um, here I'm going to delete this easy Google Fonts because it's anything but easy. I hate that thing. Um, okay, I'll deactivate the Google Fonts typography one, right?
Yeah.
Now that that's deactivated, your site goes back to the original text, right? And now if we want to look at what that text is and make a note of it, um, yeah, Lato, Lato is the name of the main thing. So when you if you want to, make a note of that, and I'll turn your Google Fonts back on so that you can use them. But you'll have to change that main setting back to Lato. You'll have to track down that font and turn it on. Now,
All
if you
right.
want, you can also download this free PDF, which will tell you more about how to use their Google Fonts plugin. Um, okay, anything else that you had questions about?
That's pretty much it. I can always email you or look at this video again if I missed anything.
Okay. Um, So let's move on to your site, Stephanie. So I don't remember what your URL is. Is it just like Stephanie or something?
Let's see, of the actual site.
Yeah, what's the URL of it?
Yeah, let me look it up. It says Stephanie H.
Stephanie
Dot Stephanie H.
Stephanie H?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, that was
And dot sgedu dot site Stephanie.
uh
Well, let me just put it in the chat here.
oh yeah, that's a great idea.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. Oh, I see. You're building this on your own site?
What do you mean?
Well, this is not the I didn't provide you with this website, right?
No, that's the Astra, but I deleted almost everything that was in there.
Okay, got it. So this is where you are, and you're using Astra.
So
And
yeah, so what I did was I used the Astra with which we began, and you know, the one that said outdoors, whatever.
yeah,
And I deleted everything. Well, some things I changed, some things I deleted, and I put in my colors. And I decided I don't want to put any identifying content in there until the end. You know, as long as I have like strange things in there.
yeah,
So I'm just preparing it now, how it would look, and then I'll put my text in.
got it. Okay,
So
so this is good because it's looking like your mock-up. You know, you have your name, you have the two columns, and then this one is a carousel, which is what you wanted, right?
yeah, so this is all pictures from what was, you know, available already. It's not mine.
Oh, okay. This is all default stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it was 2 weeks ago when we played around with these carousels.
Okay.
So I just used some pictures from there. And
Okay.
then, so I could not find any more where I found those things on the top where it says home, about, publications, research. I must have found it once because I changed them to my stuff, but I needed more, so I just duplicated some. And now if you click on visuals, it actually highlights several at the same time. And you know, if I edit one, all of them will be edited.
Okay. Do you can you give me your like password? Like I don't have a login to this. You didn't give me a login, did you?
No, and you know, just at the beginning of class, I realized that I have to share my password, so I just changed it so that I don't share my, you know, a password that I use for all kinds of things.
Okay. So what's
So
what's
I'm putting it in the chat here.
okay, perfect. Okay. So, you know, what I like to do when I'm working on WordPress is have two tabs open. One is the front end of the website and one is the back end of the website, the dashboard, so that I can make changes in the dashboard and then go over to the other tab and see, just refresh the front end, right?
Yeah.
Now, these little tabs up here are what are called menu items, all right?
Oh, okay.
And the way that you edit those is you have to go into your menu. So what you do is go under Appearance and then Menu, and then this is your menu right here, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's say that you wanted to rearrange the way your tabs are laid out on your page.
Mm-hmm.
This page is JavaScript, which means it allows you to move things on it. So like if you wanted visuals to be second to last, you just click on this and you drag it above. And now when you hit save menu, when we go back to your original site, notice visuals is still at the end, but as soon as I hit refresh, visuals moves over to here, right?
So, okay.
So you can rearrange your menu just by dragging and dropping things.
Yeah. So now what happened with those is, I think I copied and pasted a couple of these items and then I just renamed them here.
Yeah,
But if you click on in the real site, if you click on visuals, you see that publications, visuals, and consulting light up, and they're all under the same address, which is called services, because before this was called services.
oh yeah, and I can see that up here in the navigation bar. It says,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So how do I fix that? Because now I put these into visuals and then it appeared in 3 different places.
Okay, so what you can do is, so this word up here is what's called it's what's called a permalink. Let me go ahead and type that in here. So a
Yeah.
permalink is short for permanent link, right?
Yeah.
What it is it's basically the name of your page as it is displayed in the navigation bar up here, the address bar.
Yeah.
Now, you can change that by clicking Edit Page, and every page has a name. Oh, here's the block editor. Boo! Do you like the block editor, or do you want me to give you the classic editor?
I think I installed that just for that one page because I didn't see, because I was taking notes, I didn't see where you clicked edit. Can you do that again?
Let me install the classic editor, and you can always turn it off if you don't like it. Just turn off the plugin.
Well, okay.
I can't use that block editor at all. I just think it's garbage. But
Well, I thought block editor meant that you had different items as blocks over the page.
yeah, use Elementor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's go to this visuals page,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's go. I'm actually just going to hit Edit Page,
Yeah.
and what you're going to see is, you see how the name of the page is up here and it's Services,
Yeah.
right? So you can just change the name of it to Visuals, right?
Yeah.
Now that will change the name that's displayed at the top, but you also want to click here where it says Permalink. You want to click Edit, and then you want to change the name of this to Visuals as well.
Okay.
And now if I go over here and I hit Update and view the page, you'll see that right here, see how it says Visuals instead of Services.
Okay. And is that valid only for the visuals page, or did it override if you click on, sorry, I didn't see it. If you click on consulting now, where does this go?
Oh yeah, if we go to consulting, consulting says visuals. Is that what that page was originally called?
No, well, these 3 things that are highlighted now,
Oh,
I
I see
copied
what it
them
is.
all from an original site that was called services.
Oh, I
And
see.
the problem is that they're all the same, even though they're different tabs, because I copy and paste it.
Okay, got it, got it. So,
Yeah.
so all you have to do is,
So I want to separate them.
you want to separate them. Okay, so
Yeah.
basically what's happening is all 3 of these are going to the same page, which is the visuals page, and you want them to be 3 separate pages.
Yes.
Okay, so let me show you how you can do that. So if you go into your dashboard and you go down to pages,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice, let's see, oh, we don't even have, we have this page called visuals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Do you want all 3 of those pages to look like the visuals page, or do you just want them to be blank pages?
No, it's just blank page. It just happened by accident that they were the same.
Okay, fine. So this is what we can do. What I would probably do is go to the menu first, So appearance is menu.
Mhm.
And what we want to do is we want to get rid of consulting and what? Publications?
Yes.
Okay. So all you do is you click on this little arrow to open this up
Mhm.
and you hit remove. Okay. And then you go to publications and you hit remove.
Yeah.
And now you save your menu with this blue button over here.
Mhm.
Okay, so now if we go look at the front end of the website, you'll see those are gone, right?
Yeah.
Now, all you have to do is make two new pages. So you simply go to pages. Um, and here's another setting that's really helpful, you guys. In the menu, click this little box which says automatically add new top level pages to this menu. And so that means whenever you make a new page, it's going to show up in your menu, right?
Okay. Mhm.
So now we go to pages and we say add new. We simply call this page consulting
Mhm.
and we hit publish. Now let's go back and look at our menu. Notice it's put consulting down there at the bottom, right?
Okay.
Now all you have to do is move it to where you want it, hit save menu, and now when we go refresh your page, there's a consulting page. We go there and it's just a blank page, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, you could format that the way you
Yeah.
want it. So now we can do the same thing with the publications page. And the nice thing about making new pages is it also it'll add it to the menu, but it'll also make the permalink / whatever name you
Okay.
put in here.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we go publications, and now when we go look at the front end of your site, there's a publications. It always puts the new pages at the end,
Yeah.
and then if you want to change the order of that,
Yeah.
was it before research?
Yeah.
Okay, then we just move it and hit save menu, and now let's see, we go to home. Now, okay, so one of the things about these pages, the visuals pages, at least it had the same sort of look and feel of the other pages, whereas the consulting page is kind of out to lunch. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, because I haven't, yeah, all the other ones came from copying and pasting the existing pages,
Yeah.
and this one because we made it new.
Well, let me show you. Let me show you another option that you have. Um,
Uh-huh.
let's say that what you really wanted to do. Um, let's say that you wanted to make new pages, but you wanted them to look like the visuals page, right?
Mhm.
In that case, um, you can install a plugin. I think it's called Clone Pages or something like that.
Mhm.
Uh, which one is it? I tell you what. Let me go to. I guess duplicate page would work as well. 1+million active. Let's try this one. Install now. Activate. Okay, let's go into pages, all pages. Yeah. Okay. So now what happens when you roll over a page, you get a brand new choice called duplicate this, right?
Mhm.
So we could go down to visuals and we could say duplicate this. It makes a brand new page called visuals and puts it in draft mode, right?
Mhm.
Now we could call this one publications and publish it. Now what's going to happen if I go back to my menu? There's
There is already a
the
publication.
publications at the bottom is the new one, right? The one,
Okay.
the one up here is the BS one, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we move the new one up here,
yeah. Mhm.
and now when we go look at this publications page, it's going to look like the visuals page, but it's a separate page, right? I don't know why it's got those things all the way at the top like that. Um,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird and not cool, but
Mhm.
anyway, you can do that with any page now. So in other words, if you find one page that you set up that you really like the look of, like this page, you can
Mhm.
duplicate it and then just give it a new name, and then that will be a different page.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'm not confusing this issue too much, am I?
No, well, I have to try it out and then I'll see.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to have to play around with it, and your best bet Your best bet is to set up one page that you really like the look of and then duplicate that and just rename it so that you got your whole site looks the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because some of these pages like are kind of jacked up. You know, I've just
yeah.
you
I
know,
think I like the visuals. It's going to look a bit different than the other ones because the other ones are more text-based.
oh,
And
I know why this visuals page. I know that why the one I just made is jacked up. It's because it doesn't have pictures for the word visual to go over. So see how
uh,
it says visual 1, visual 2, visual 3? When I go to
yeah.
publications, there's there's no pictures that those
Mhm.
are sitting on top of to pull it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't necessarily want the word visual in the picture. It was just the pictures were already there, and I think it said something else like service one or something, service two, and I just changed it to visual just by playing around. But I don't know if in the end I want this necessarily the word on the picture. Probably I want it under the picture.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I don't know why this page is so jacked up. You might want to see if you can find another page. It would be nice if you just had a really simple page that you made, maybe that just had a block of content right here, and that was the main page that you copied uh, as the base page for all of these. Because
Yeah, I might use this page to copy it.
yeah, let's try that just for grins. I want to see how it works.
Yeah.
So once again, we're going to go down here to pages, and we're going to go to the home page, and we're going to do duplicate this. So it's going to make a home draft Elementor, right? Now what I can do is I can click preview. Oh, good. It actually looks good. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so I would use that. So,
But it's missing the line that I made. So
what?
it's missing something. It's missing a line that I had.
Okay, well
If you go to the original page.
let me give it a new name. So I'm going to call this one. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to call this just new home, uh, and hit publish
Mhm.
and view the page. Okay, what's it missing?
If you go to the old home, like the original home.
Oh, the line.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's strange. I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. However, you can probably insert that line pretty easily, especially with something like element. Oh, you know, the weird thing is it's actually there, but it's not showing up. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
let me
Okay.
let, let me try something real quick. I have a plugin on my site which is called Clone Something, and it seems to work really well. It's not that duplicate this plugin. Let me see what it's called. Look at all these plugins I have. Let's see. I'm looking for something that says like clone.
Well, you can search the site, like search the website for clone.
Click child theme. Oh, there it is. Duplicate post. Okay. That thing works like a freaking charm. So
Mhm.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to your site here,
Mhm.
and I'm going to turn off this duplicate page. I don't like it. I'm thinking it's creating errors. I'm going to delete it actually, um, and I'm going to instead find the duplicate post plugin. Oh, and of course I have to figure out which one exactly it is. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Um, by Enrico Battocci. Okay. Duplicate post by Enrico Battocci. Let's see. Duplicate post. Is there anything on here that says Enrico Battocci? Oh, here it is. It's this first one, Enrico. Okay. Install now. Activate. Okay, we're going to try this experiment again.
Mhm.
We're going to go to your home page and see now it says clone. Okay. So
Mhm.
we're gonna hit clone, and then we're gonna edit this page, and we're gonna call this new home.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And then let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that ate the line too. So that's very interesting. I guess that plugin wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Okay. Well, regardless, like I said, it's just so weird because when we go to edit with Elementor, it'll show that the line is in there, but it's not showing up. This line right here, it's getting eaten for some reason by something, and I don't know what that is. You might have to do some things. I'm just going to play right here. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to push this down a little bit. Yeah, there it is. It's showing up now. So somehow that line is getting eaten by something. It's like being hidden by something. So let me just give it a top margin of 5. Yeah, for some reason, when I thought something like that was happening, for some reason, something up at the top is messing it up. And when we push it down a little bit, it shows up.
Okay.
So yeah, I know I probably confused you as much as I helped you here, but hopefully I showed you some opportunities.
Yeah, no, I'll play around with it and yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, other questions that you have?
Let me see. No, that's it.
Okay. Alex, do you have any questions about your website?
Yeah, I mean, I could show you mine right now, what I have,
Okay,
and then we could talk about it.
do you want to share your screen?
I can send you the link right here.
Oh yeah, go ahead, give me a link. Just put it in the post there. Okay. Okay, so this is your logo, which you said you're eventually going to animate, right?
I might. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. And then we've got our links to our different pages here. We got our header, our picture, and then let's see what else is in here. Shop, projects. Okay. So we just have basically the theme with the logo and some content in here, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Um,
go ahead.
so I didn't use Elementor on this site, but I'm thinking about doing it now just because a lot of the themes that you can pick, you have to upgrade them to be able to even customize them like to what you want to do.
Yeah, Elementor is great. And there's a second thing that you should install if you're going to install Elementor. I'm going to go back to Stephanie's site here just because it's easy to get to. Um, and if we go under plugins and add new, there's something called like Elementor Essential Add-ons or something like that. Now, I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I'll have to check with my other class because they're the ones who pointed it out to me. But um, Elementor comes free, but then there's a bunch of super cool extra features that are locked down unless you pay for it. But somebody figured out how to add all those Elementor plugins to a free plugin. And if you get that, it's kind of like getting Elementor plus the premium version of Elementor. So I'm not sure. I thought it was called Essential Add-ons, but I'm not sure which one it is. So I'll have to check. Um, Happy add-ons, builder promises enhance the figure. Anyway, I'll look into it. I'll ask my Thursday class about it, and then you guys can add it, and it'll just give you more options. Okay. Anyway, back to your site. So uh, now, were you planning on having a blog on the front of your site, or
No, and that's another question I had because it by default, I don't know if it's the theme or it's my WordPress settings, but it kind of has it set up like that. Like at the bottom, it shows the date and my name.
yeah, that's the default for almost all WordPress sites, is they all default to a blog on the homepage. Um, Is there any way that can you text me some kind of login information for this, or do I have it?
Mm, let me, how do I add you?
How?
Yeah.
Let me show
Oh,
you.
wait, I got it.
So what you do is you go to the dashboard. You go under users and you go add new. Uh, you know, you can just call me Greg or whatever. You can put it in an email address like glamo@gmail.com. Uh, I guess we could fill out all this stuff. I don't usually fill out all this stuff, but um, the main thing you need to do is put in the Greg and the Greg Lamo, and then the password. Um, and then you know, do something like you know, Peachy 2020 or something like that. Um, maybe with an exclamation point. Let's see if it likes that better. Okay, Peachy 2020 with an exclamation point. And then you just click give me administrator access so I can get in there and change things. And then just click add new user.
Okay, I added you.
Okay, so let me see if I can log in. Can I add myself to your site, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Okay, so add new user. So that's going to be Chilamo. Okay, add new user. Okay, there I am. So now I'll go to Alex's site and let's see. So uh, I should be able to get in with my name. Peachy, wait, Peachy 2020 exclamation point. Okay. All right. So let's see. Your website's always come defaulted to a blog on the front page. Now to change that, what you have to do is you have to go into your pages and you have to make a page which is going to be your home page, right?
Mm,
Um, then what you do is you go under settings and you go under reading, and it looks like yours is already set up as
mm,
yeah. Normally it's defaulted to a blog page, right?
yeah.
But yours is actually, I think yours just, I think it's what you said, which is your site just kind of looks like a blog, right?
It might just be the template that I
Uh,
used.
yeah. So in other words, oh, the block editor. Do you want the classic editor?
I'm not sure what editor I was using, but uh, if I used Elementor on this current template, will it mess it up?
No. It won't mess it up, but if you start, like I said, if you start using it on pages, you have to keep using it.
Okay.
So like, do you want me to add Elementor?
Whatever you were gonna add, that's fine, yeah. I don't know if classic editor is what you were adding
Uh,
or if it's different.
Classic editor is different. Let me show you the difference. Um, with Classic Editor, when you go into a page, it looks like the traditional WordPress, right?
Hmm.
In other words, it has your title up here and the page content down here. Um, if you if you turn Classic Editor off, um, in other words, deactivate it, then when you go look at a page, it uses this thing called the block editor, which is really hard to deal with. I just kind of hate it. Now you guys should experiment with it if you want and see if you like it. But now Elementor, of course, is different. Um, if you add an Elementor like I just did, then you have to click the edit with Elementor, and then it's gonna give you the page in the Elementor interface, and now you can do things, you know, add it with Elementor,
I
right?
think that's what I did for the homepage because I deleted like a bunch of stuff that was on the homepage.
Yeah, it was
That
like
was there
Elementor.
originally. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. What other questions do you have about your site?
Um. Well, the original, like the previous site that I had built for this brand was on Shopify, and it's kind of similar, uh, in like terms of templates, I guess. But I'm not sure about the e-commerce side on WordPress.
Okay, so for WordPress, what you want to do is you want to add in WooCommerce. And uh, is it okay if I install this?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, WooCommerce is probably the most popular e-commerce plugin for WordPress. And what's cool is it gives you this cool little tutorial, right? It says, get your store up and running. Oh, yes, I want to do this, right? So then I'm just going to put in some bogus information for right now, right? So,
Okay.
123 Main Street, we'll call it Algeria. We'll call it Big Mountain, Algeria, with the postcode of, let's see, I guess it should all be numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Notice I'm setting up a store for a client as an option, right? And you can also skip the setup wizard, but I don't recommend that because it's a really good um, setup wizard. Um, Look at this. They won't let you go buy this without doing the usage trackage. I don't want their usage track. Okay, so then I'm just trying to get past all their junk here. Okay, so they're asking what you're selling, right? And you can be selling physical products and or downloads, right?
Uh-huh.
All of this junk here, these are all plugins that they will sell to you for an annual fee. So, for example, if you were setting up a website for a client that wanted to have subscriptions, it would cost you 16.58, or your client 16.58 a month to have that plugin. Memberships, bookings, like if you had somebody who did massages, you could set up a site where they could do bookings, and so on and so forth. Now, let's say you're selling physical products, so we'll just hit continue. How many products you plan to do? Currently selling elsewhere. I'm just these are some and then these are some plugins they can install for you. Google Ads they can put in, Mailchimp, which is e-newsletter, and then market on Facebook. I'm going to turn all those off. You can turn them back on later. And then they allow you to choose a theme, right? And you could choose all of these themes. Look, there's Astra right there. Now
The
what's
one I have at the top was the one that I was using.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
This one?
The crypto store.
Oh, great, great. Continue with my active theme. Thank you. Okay, enhance your store with Jetpack and WooCommerce services. Let's do that later. No thanks. And then, okay, next, next. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now here's like a command center for WooCommerce. You have to do things like, set up your shipping. You have to set up your tax. You have to set up how people will pay for things. And a couple of things come free, like PayPal comes free, and then usually you can get Stripe for free as well. So you have a couple different options for people to pay online. And then of course you have to figure out things like shipping, like you can do free shipping, or you can do shipping based on weight of the products, or you can do flat rate shipping, right? And then of course tax, you can put in the tax for your region. Now I skipped over something called Jetpack, right? But if you go back and install Jetpack, it will automatically bring in the tax for your state, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. So here's Get Jetpack right here, right? And it will also give you, Jetpack is a free service from WordPress. It'll also give you statistics and all kinds of cool stuff. So it's a pretty cool thing to get. So now that your store's in there, we can add a new product. So we'll just, sorry. Let's see. I just got totally jacked here. Products. Okay, add new. Okay, stop doing that. Okay, we're going to add in a product called a widget, and we're going to say, this is my cool widget. Widget. And we're going to say the price is, $9.99. And then we're going to add a product image right here. Now your widget is going to look a heck of a lot like this round red button that I used on Bernadette's site. Okay, set product image, and then we'll put it in the uncategorized category, and then we'll view the product. Okay, so here it is. There's the widget. It's $9.99. You know, I can have as many as I want. I can add it to my cart and then view my cart, but of course, I can't do much in the checkout because I don't have e-commerce. I don't have like a PayPal or Stripe or anything configured, right? But once I do, see how it says no payment methods. But once you just like, if you have a PayPal account, it's really easy to set up that to start with. So you just go under WooCommerce and you go under settings, and then you go to payments, and you can click on PayPal Standard, and all you have to do is put in your PayPal email address. Oh, you got it already. Oh, but that's your Pima one.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it defaulted to it.
yeah, if you put in whatever the heck you want to put in there, your PayPal email address, and update all this, then you can get PayPal working on the site right away. Um, and of course, WooCommerce has all kinds of plugins. A lot of them you have to pay for, but Stripe, like I said, has been free in the past for people, so it may still be free. Um, what other questions do you have?
That's about it.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. So what I think I want to do is why don't I give you guys some time right now to work on your website since we got you here in the class. So why don't you spend like, the next 15, 20 minutes working on your website. I'll stick around, and if you have any questions, just pipe up and let me know, and I'll help you. And then I'll poke my head back in about 20 minutes and check on you and see where you are with things, and then we can wrap up the class. Sound good?
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
great. I have a few questions not really related to the class. Like it is, but it isn't. Kind of talking about the logo that I'm working on, just to see like your feedback, if that's okay.
Yeah, we can talk about that now. These other guys can work on their websites a little, and then you and I can talk about this right now. So go ahead.
Okay. Should I share my screen, or maybe I could give you the PDF, put it on the Google Drive? I don't know what you want to do.
You can share your screen. It's fine with me.
Okay. Yeah, because like I've never worked with anyone. I mean, I've been at my church for like 10, 8 years. I don't know. But I just kind of volunteered myself, kind of showed them what I could do. But I've never actually done any like work with any client before.
Okay.
So that's why I have some questions. Let me go to it. Okay. So then I just share screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find it. Uh, Let me just, I thought it was on.
Okay, I can see your screen.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna shrink it down a bit. So the the first one on the top is like the main logo.
Okay,
And
I can't see anything. All I see is your screen that has all these AI and PDF files. I didn't.
oh really? Okay, I didn't share. So take it off.
No, 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 no. Did you double click on that PDF, Valley Malcolm?
Yeah, I did.
So you can see it, but I can't.
Yeah, it's probably because you know how when you're not the host, I don't really have much to. I'll stop sharing it.
You want to just you know what? You can upload it into the chat here.
I
Just
can't.
yeah, if you look, can you see the chat over on the side?
Yeah, I see it.
There's a button called File. You see in the lower right corner a button called File?
Let me just get to it. Mm, sorry, I'm trying to look for it. Okay.
Here, I can show you on my screen. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see this little chat window here?
Um.
Now you have to launch that, Bernadette. You have to go down here and you have to click More and then click Chat. And then
Okay.
you see this little window.
Yeah. I think I sent it to you.
Oh yeah,
It's.
there it is. You got it. You got it. Good job.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm downloading it right now.
It just has like the different variations of the logo and yeah.
Okay. It's just gonna take a minute to download.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I got the fonts from like one of them is from DeFont and the other one I think is from Font Space. I don't know how to go about licensing it and all that legal stuff, like if they do go ahead and go with it.
So here's the thing. While we're waiting for this to download, I'm gonna switch over to DeFont. Um,
Because I know there are some links on there that say, like, okay, click this link to go ahead and license it or pay for the license.
right. So in other words, some of the fonts when you download them, they say, uh, yeah, like this one right here, Blue Eyes, right? The most of the fonts are free for non-commercial use.
Yeah,
Okay, but then see here it says, "Hello, please contact me before any commercial use. My fonts are free only in personal projects." Right?
yeah,
Please purchase a commercial license here. Okay, so we go here, and it says one user license, 19.99, right? And then you can buy it with PayPal, right?
yeah.
And then once you buy that, you have a license to use that font. So that's all there is to it.
Okay. But would I have to pay for it or would they have to pay for it in order for me to use it? Like, I don't know.
You would the client pays for all that stuff.
Yeah,
So you know, like let's say that you end up having to buy a stock photo, and a font and something else. You just you tell the client, hey, I'm happy to do your website for free, but I'm not going to take money out of my pocket to
yeah,
stuff. So it's going to be at least $100 just to pay for the font, the pictures, the license, blah blah blah. And then you say, are you guys okay with that? And you get their approval, and then sometimes you have to spend your money and then get reimbursed. Sometimes you can ask for an advance, whatever works for you.
okay. And then that's all I would really need is like if I used fonts from like other places and not my own, I just pay for the font or the license, but the actual logo I made is my own. Like I did it in Illustrator and all that.
Absolutely, that's your own.
Okay.
And with a regular client that's not, your free church site, you would charge them for that logo work.
Well, I offered to do it for free.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying if it were a paying client.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost done with your download here.
Huh. It's a really big file. I guess because I put multiple art boards in there.
Okay. Is that your logo?
Yeah,
I like it.
thank you. Yeah, the original one they use Sanskrit. I mean, again, it's just my opinion. My pastor doesn't really like the original one they have right now. Um, so, and it's really old.
Yeah, I like it, Bernadette.
You-
And you've always been good with color palettes. This is a
It
nice
took me a
color
while.
down here. Did you design these too?
Huh?
You designed this?
Yeah, just to like do some like little merch, like if they wanted it on a hat or a jacket, whatever, little things like that.
This looks great. And you know what? Church
Thank you.
churches are a great place to start out your web design career because oftentimes you're doing it for free and you can do what you want and you can build up a really nice portfolio of work from a church website, and then when you go look for paying clients you can be like, well, I designed all this and it looks really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what was I going to say? Uh, yeah, so I've been just working on some mock-ups on Photoshop, and because with churches, I've noticed it's kind of not like a traditional site or branding like for a regular clothing store or a business, but like it's kind of in a different realm all by itself, so it's a little interesting to work with.
Yeah, and one of the best sources of information would be other church websites.
Yeah,
You know,
and
you
I go
go,
ahead.
go ahead.
I've been kind of looking at different websites for churches and as well as um, like restaurants that I like. Like for instance, I was looking at like Blaze Pizza and Mod Pizza. I really like their web design. And again, it's not a restaurant, but I kind of like their layout.
Is it Blaze, Blaze?
Yeah, Blaze. They used to have it in town, I think on Broadway, but they closed it in town.
Yeah, I went to that pizza place and I noticed that it was closed. It's right
Yeah.
by me. That's where I am. Oh, that
Oh,
means yeah, that's okay, this is the website you like?
yeah, like it's very colorful and very open. And then also like Mod Pizza. I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of like the pizza places.
Can you hang on just 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Well, sometimes uh if somebody used a WordPress site, you can find out the name of the theme that they used by looking at the code. Uh,
Oh, okay.
and so, like on this site, I don't know how much success we'll have right now, but if I go into this web developer and do the toggle tools, let's see. Um, I'm at a bit of a disadvantage right now because I don't have my glasses with me, but sometimes it'll say right here uh, in the code what the WordPress theme is, right?
Oh, okay.
Uh, Now, I don't really see it in this particular code. Sometimes it's not a WordPress site, and then you're SOL, right? But but yeah, but sometimes you can just find it, and then you just go look up that theme. You
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, but I see what you're saying. It's a nice, clean, colorful site, and even though you're doing a church site, you still might like this kind of approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not selling pizza or yeah, any food, but I've noticed some of the like I really like Chipotle's branding and some of the newer restaurants or franchises I get a lot of inspiration from,
Uh,
even if I don't eat there.
yeah, I know what you mean. Do you know that boba tea place?
Huh?
You know boba tea?
Oh yeah, I
I
like
love,
their branding as
I like
well.
their branding a lot.
It's really cute and but well, not cute like in like, but it kind of has that playful vibe.
Yeah, I love their. I think they did an excellent job. Um, well, this is just showing. This is not really a boba tea. Maybe it's probably a franchise, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know if there's one website that has the boba tea stuff on it. Um, but yeah, I love their branding.
yeah,
Okay, well that's all fair game. I mean, it's fine to use another website or another company for inspiration to do your project.
yeah. Of course, I don't want to like copy everything, but it helps.
Yeah. Um, but everything that you're showing here is really lovely, and
You.
I think it looks really nice.
And see, because like the two fonts that I'm using for their brand, um, I kind of want to use a little bit for the website if they do have me do their website someday down the road. But just for the sake of this project, I'll probably just go on to Photoshop and do put in the fonts on there.
Right. On this one, it might be nice if the word Christian were the same size and thickness as Valley.
Okay.
You might have to shrink Valley down in order to do that. And then
Yeah.
I don't know if you're interested in this, but I sort of imagine like a EST dot 1974 or something. You could have an established date in there.
Yeah. I was thinking too, like in place of those little dots, maybe put it right there. I think in the patches, I put EST on there.
Okay. Yeah. And the dots work too. I like the dots. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, this is really beautiful right here. This design.
Thank you.
I wonder sometimes if you know how you have this sort of very classic type of font layout here, and then this is handwritten.
It's a scripty font that I found, and I just kind of manipulated it to look a little more handwritten.
Yeah, and I understand why you would do that because it looks very friendly and everything, but it stands out as not really fitting.
Okay.
I mean, because when you look, everything else on this page is, is this very sober, serious kind of font, right? And then we get to Valley, which just looks like it was, scribbled with a marker or a brush, and it's a very happy, but it stands out as not being consistent.
Yeah. I
Uh,
was just thinking, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
To kind of break up the monotony a little bit, because I've noticed like sometimes they'll have like people will have the logo looking completely just distinct, and throughout their branding they don't really use the same fonts for like if that makes sense. So I've seen other people using a different like scripty font to kind of break things up a bit, but yeah, I could see where it's not as consistent.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about. I've seen that too. I feel like that's something you do when, okay, do you know those shirts which are called, that brand called Obey? Okay. Um, okay, so what I'm trying to illustrate to you is what I think the point at where I think people start taking their logo and start messing with it is when they have a large variety of products and they want to really break it up, right? So,
Okay.
um, so this is a company called Obey, and they have this word obey which appears on on their stuff. See how the word obey is written right there?
Yeah.
Now, if we look at enough of their stuff, see how it's a little different here?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've got a whole line of products, they can take that word obey, which is their signature, and they can stretch it in 12 different ways and make it different colors and different fonts, right? But if you're doing something very small, like a church website, and you don't have 30 products, then it
Yeah.
might seem like a bit of overkill to try to just make one change, you know?
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I'll let him know that because he did like it. Like he did like the idea of having it a little scripted to break it up a bit. But now that you said that,
Well, I like it too, but maybe it would be something like if you are going to do that, maybe you would put it on a t-shirt or something and you would combine it with some other aspect of the logo. So
okay,
maybe it would say Valley and then it would say Christian Church, and maybe there would be some stylized version of this little thing somewhere. You could tell that it was just like the hip young version of the Valley logo.
okay, all right,
Yeah, and then what would happen is this would be on a hat or a shirt or whatever, and when people saw that, they'd be like, "Oh, that's the merch. That's not the branding for the site."
okay.
Okay. Yeah, but
Thank.
it looks great. Now, are you taking any design classes with like Patty or anything?
Um. Well, I took her. I think a semester, 2 semesters ago. I forgot.
Okay. But you don't have her now.
No, I have James. What's his name? Lionheart. I had him like the first time I've ever taken any graphic design classes. So I'm taking him again.
Okay, and is he giving you feedback on stuff like this?
No, I haven't really talked to him about it. You're the first one.
Okay, well, if you like his feedback, I mean, if you think he might be of value to you, you might want to show it to him and see what he says because the more eyes you get on a project, the more input you get and potentially the stronger you can make it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but it's looking great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start working on the website, not unless it's time to go back to normal.
Well, let's see. It's getting close. Let me just check in with the other folks. So, Stephanie or Alex, do you guys have any additional questions about your sites or?
Yeah, I'm trying to remove something from the site, but I'm not sure where to find it.
Okay, let me see if I can go. Okay, I'm back on your site. So, what are you trying to remove?
If you refresh it, I actually changed the homepage right now, so that's it removed. Oh, actually, it didn't update, but I had changed it so that there was no blog for the homepage. That's weird how it didn't update yet.
This is, yeah, because that is a blog right there on the homepage. So, if we go into dashboard and we go to settings, reading, yeah, it's showing your latest post. It should be a static page. Uh, home, let's see, save changes. Refresh. Wow. Okay, yeah. No, that is your homepage right there.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm trying to remove the blue box that says home and right there. I just want to remove that totally.
Okay, so we can do the same thing that we did with Bernadette's site. So we can go into Web Developer and Toggle Tools, and we can click on this, and we click on this blue area, and then you can see the style it is. It's this thing called .bg custom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then right here, this tells you where it is in your style sheet right here. Now let me see if it's .bg dash custom. Okay, let me see if I can just change that. So we go to customize, um, and we go to additional CSS, and we go .bg dash custom, and then we put in the curly braces, and we type in like background, I don't know, white. Yeah, there you go. Um, so none. You can get rid of that background, but of course you're going to have to change the color of this text.
But what about the shadow? I want to remove that whole block completely and then let the page
Right.
shift up.
Okay, so I just removed the color, right?
Hmm.
So I'm going to click publish on that. So that's good. Now to remove the shadow, we have to figure out what that style is. So we go back to Web Developer, Toggle Tools, click on this little icon here, and then click right on the shadow. Let's see. Boy, there's a lot of stuff over here. Um, Seems like some kind of a graphic or something. Let's see. Background color, background none. Let's see, padding position, background. What does that say? I have no idea. Module extra small, inherited from body. Wow. Um, yeah. Let me see some real quick. So that is not. Thought maybe that was a graphic, but I don't know what that thing is.
I might just have to change the theme completely because I feel like I'd have to upgrade to the premium version to be able to do all the things that I'd want to do.
Yeah, why don't you try looking at another theme? I'm not necessarily crazy about this theme.
Okay.
Okay. Stephanie, do you have any questions that have come up? Oh, also, where do I change the colors of the menu items? I already set them in global settings, but they don't seem to translate to that page. Are you still there, Stephanie? Um, okay, I can't find the clone or duplicate tab under menus. Where is it? Um, let's see. So I'll say the clone word appears when you are in the pages section of the dashboard when you roll your mouse over the name of a page. Let's see. Also, where do I change the colors of the menu items? Already set them in global settings, but they don't seem to translate to that page. The colors of your links in your menu will change if they have been clicked on. Try visiting your website from another browser to see what the links look like before being clicked. Um, Also, you can change the color of menu items with custom CSS, which we can get into later. Okay, I think, all right. Okay, guys, well, I think that what I'm going to do is end the class, but you guys feel free to, if you have a little time right now and you're in the mode, spend a few more minutes working on this stuff, see what you can get accomplished, and let me know if you have any questions, and then I'll catch up with you guys next class. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys, have a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so stop share and